This tutorial video is to help admins work with the SOLA account for their organization. The details in this video are only accessible to people who have been given specific admin rights for your organization. To access the admin section, click on the admin button in the lower left. It is very important that you understand the difference between funds, accounts, and users in SOLA. Let's start with funds. The funds in SOLA are each of the individual projects that your organization works with. That could include funds for individual missionaries, funds for specific projects, and funds for general giving to the organization. The next level is accounts. An account in SOLA is a combination of one or more funds. No one can access the details of a fund unless it is connected to an account. Also, one fund can be connected to multiple accounts. For example, you can create one account that is all the funds for an individual missionary. Then you can create another account that includes multiple missionaries together. And then also you could create accounts that include multiple projects into one ministry. In this case, music ministry. Now onto users. Users are individuals who are given access to one or more accounts. In this example, you would want to create a user that would have access to their missionary account. You could then create another user that is possibly the leader of 3 missionaries, and then they would have access to the all missionary account. And then you could create a third user who may have access to the music ministry account and then the all missionary account. There's no limit to the number of accounts that you can have or to the number of accounts that a user can have access to. If a user is given access to an account, they will see the financial details connected to those funds. So be sure you are careful when you give access to users. Let's now go through the process for creating accounts and users. First, you don't need to create any funds in SOLA. The fund details are uploaded directly into SOLA from your accounting system and donor database. To create an account, you first need to give it a name. This name should be created in a way that will make sense to you and your users. For example, an individual missionary account could just be the name of the missionary. Or if you're combining multiple funds that are connected to a music ministry in your organization, you might want to call that account Music Ministry Funds. If you combine a lot of missionaries into one account, you might call this All Missionary Funds. You have flexibility to change this name at any time if you need to. The next thing you need to do is select whether this is a monthly or a one-time account. You will likely use monthly accounts most often, especially for your missionary and staff accounts. You will use one-time accounts for funds that have a specific goal of what is needed for funding or have a definite start and end time. One example would be an intern that is raising funds for their internship. In this case, there's a specific amount that needs to be raised, and it would make more sense to make this a one-time account. You can always change this if you need to, and I recommend you create a sample account for each type so that you can compare the two options. Next, you need to select the funds that are connected to this account. You can search in this box to better find the funds that you want to add. Finally, you will choose the default currency that the account should display the reports in. This is helpful for international staff that might be raising funds in US dollars but want to see the reports in their local currencies such as euros. In this case, SOLA will provide all reports using the current exchange rate. The user will be able to change this currency whenever they want, but you are the only one who can change the default currency.
If you need to update any of the details on an account, just click on its name in the list. And then you can update the name, the currency, and any of the other details you need.
Next, you need to go to users in order to assign the account to specific people. You will first add their name and their email address. The user will be able to change these on their own once they log in for the first time. Then you will determine their role. This is where you can assign other admins who will have access to this section of SOLA. If someone is an admin, you are giving them the ability to see all funds and all transaction details for your organization. So be sure to assign this role carefully. Next, you will select the account or accounts that this user has access to. When you check the box, you will decide if you want them to have full or limited access. Limited access removes the list of donors and the transaction details on the account, but those users will still see fund balances and total donation amounts. Most people will be given full access to accounts, but you do have the ability to limit it if you need to. As with accounts, you can always click on a user after you created their access to change the accounts that they see and their permissions. Your SOLA billing is based on the number of active users from your organization at the end of each month, so you should be sure to review this list on a regular basis in order to keep it updated. If you need to remove a user, you can click their name and hit remove. Please contact your SOLA representative if you have any more questions on these admin functions.